So today, our final speaker is Jan Zufelt from our John L. Scott office in Kingston. So Jan, good luck.
My name is Jan Zufelt, and I'm from the John L. Scott Kingston office. I have a voice that doesn't project, so are you hearing me in the back? And I'll try to remember to do that every now and then. I've been in the business for 18 years. I started out with Shamrock Realty in Kingston. They actually had a Paulsville branch back then, and so I started in the Paulsville branch. I worked under Alma Hammond, who is absolutely one of the best agents there are out there. She's an excellent trainer, and she did a fantastic job of training me, and I really owe a lot to Alma. 5 years into the business, I started working with builders, and for my builders, it was really important to them that I be with a company that had the technology. And so they asked me to make the switch over to John L. Scott, and so I kind of weighed it and said, listen, I'm comfortable here, I love this, big money, what am I doing this for? I went over to John L. Scott, and I've never regretted a day of it. I've made so much more money here than I ever would have otherwise. So that's my start in real estate. I am a second generation realtor. My daddy was a realtor. He retired at age 80 from that. They moved up here. He actually was going to work for me as a buyer's agent, but his eyes wouldn't see those road numbers. And so we decided it was a safer world if he wasn't. And so he retired at age 80 and just passed away at age 90. And so had a great life. He was not a realtor as I was growing up. He became a realtor after I left home, so I wasn't raised around it. But I knew that he was really, really good. And I knew I was my daddy's girl, and that I could follow in his footsteps and do just as well as he had. So decided to go into the business. So give me just a second here to make sure that I know what I'm doing. Okay. Just out of curiosity, how many of you are in the business from 1 to 5 years? Raise your hand. Okay. And 5 to 10? And 10 to 20? That's a few. Okay, great.
What about more than 20?
More than 20? Jana, wow.
What about less than 1?
I'm trained new agents. What you do is you say, I'm in my first year of real estate. So, anyway, I'm just curious on that because there are some items that I feel like are really good tips for new agents, and so hopefully we'll be able to help you with those things. So, the one thing that I've learned throughout the years is that you do absolutely have to have systems to live by. And so what you will learn from me today is that you'll be able to pick up a system or two to add to your business model. Remember, if you don't have to think about things, your job is much easier. You will see the value in a day off. You are worth it. And you will understand what living by design means to me. What are you doing to make yours a better life? So the first thing that I'll teach you is that exactly what Frank was talking, and what's the new phrase, Frank?
Polyphasing.
Polyphasing. The old phrase was? Pop-Tarts. Realtors are Pop-Tarts. We pop from one thing to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing, and Frank's right. You can't do it all. You can't. As hard as we try, you can't. And so you got to get organized to get past that. And so in order to do that, you use systems. We need to do the same things the same way over and over so that we don't miss anything. Life is already too hard, so make it so you do things on autopilot. So what happens to, should I go? No? So anyway, so systems are really just habits, and so you'll hear me talk about habits, and I'm also talking about systems. They go hand in hand. So for me, there's a start of the day habit, hot chocolate, a devotion, and a prayer. No talking, no God. Don't ask how my day goes. So I've just learned to do that first thing in the morning. Also, first thing in the morning that I do is I look at my calendar. And let me just get lights acting. And so I look at my calendar. I use the Outlook calendar that's part of the Microsoft Office suite. And the reason that I use it is because I can color code it. And I absolutely love that. So you'll see that green, husband gets paid, I like that. Birthdays are purple, business stuff is blue, to do, I put in red. So for me, the Outlook calendar, just being able to glance down at the date and see what's coming up, it's really helped me a lot. I also use another part of the Outlook calendar system. When you go to print your calendar, if you drop down where it says monthly, if you drop down one box, it's called the Trifold. And I absolutely love the Trifold. And I print these on Saturday night for the whole next week. And then it's what I do is I go through and I do my time blocking, and I'm just taking that off of, what day is this? This is a Thursday. So I'm taking it off Thursday, time blocking out what I need to, making a couple of quick little tasks that I need to make sure that I've done. If I know I'm going to be running into Costco or whatever, I make my little notations there. And then this part, you're able to glance at the entire week. And so if you're talking to somebody on the phone on Monday and you make an appointment for Friday, you write it down Friday now while you see the whole week, and then that evening as I'm throwing this piece of paper in the trash, then I write on Friday whatever is going to happen. And sometimes some of these things don't get done, and so it's what I could do is put a T on it and I transfer it to another day. So this one goes in the trash at the end of the day. So, and then is what I felt that I needed to do, because we can't do it all, we try to, is I made what I call my ultimate to-do list. This is a cool list that I created on Publisher, and it's 2 pages. And so I have one section for who do I need to call, who do I need to mail or email, what forms do I need to do, what offers do I need to write, what CMAs do I need to prepare, just a regular old to-do list. I have this little section that's called Outlook. You'll get seasick through my presentation. So anyway, Outlook is what I do is put somebody's name and phone number or their email address, and then at the day's end, I transfer those over into Outlook. So then you don't have those little yellow sticky notes in place, you're writing that down in one place. Anything I need to get paid, any handwritten notes that I need to get written, anybody I need to see, things that I need to grab in town, I do there. And then the last category is FFM. Does anybody know what that stands for? Fun for me. So every single day needs to have something in it that's fun for me. And so I make sure that, first of all, on my list, Sunday is off. Come sit a while and rest, that's what I need to do on Sundays. And then the rest of the days, I make sure I stick something in there fun. Life has to be fun. So, having said that, one of the things that I do, one of my habits, is to change my outgoing message every single day. And the reason that I do that is because nothing irritates me more than to get the message that says, I'm away from my desk or on the other line. It's like, they're always on the other line. And so, for me, it's just a better message to my clients to actually tell them where I am. And so I try to let people know where I'll be for the day. I promise to call back when I'm done, and I do. I've actually had other agents, spouses, call me because they know I'll respond and tell them to tell their wife to call them. so that's pretty funny. If I'm going to be away all day, I leave my cell phone number on there, or actually the phone number that I have transferred myself. I don't give out my personal cell phone. When I want to be with nice Mr. Man, I want to be with him. And so I have a phone number that I actually transfer to my cell phone, and I transfer it back to my desk when I'm not going to be picking up my own calls. Or I'll leave my phone number for them to call Mr. Bill Page, who covers for me, and vice versa when I'm out of town. And so you need to change the message in the morning, or you need to change it the night before. Just do it. Another habit that I have is to show up at the office. I think that it's really important that people call in and they get me live and in person. People want to talk to me, not my voicemail. I also make sure that they know where to find me. Many people see my car and stop in. If the car's not there, they're not going to stop in, and especially in Kingston. So. I return calls promptly. I love to hear the shock in people's voices that I call them back so quick, and it's what clients do is they equate that with excellent client service. I'll talk for a second about assistants. First of all, some of you know that my assistant is actually Kathy Page, who's married to Bill Page. And Kathy works for me 2 days a week. So the first thing I want to say is I love my assistant. She's the best. My habit is to keep her happy. And she's easy to keep happy. We work in a little tiny office, and we were talking the other day just about how fortunate it is that we like each other and that we're able to work so well together. She does all of it, doesn't she?
I'm not saying.
Okay, all right. So, anyway, years ago I took a class, I didn't take a class. I listened to a series of tapes. You knew our agents, that's those little cassettes, you know that. And so I listened to the tapes, and it was by Roger Butcher. Some of you older agents who've been in the business for a long time will remember Roger Butcher. And I listened to a series about assistants, and the thing that hit home with me the most was that if you don't have an assistant, you are your assistant. You better be good so that you don't have to fire you. And that really resonated with me. It's like, you know what? I need to be able to do everything that I would have an assistant do, and so I better be pretty darn good. And so that's something that I really worked hard on. And the one thing I learned was that you need systems for yourself, and you need systems for your assistant. So some of the systems that I'm going to talk about for a second, and because I was in surgery for Jana's presentation, some of this will be repeat. I'm not going to go into detail. I got the forms. If you want to email me, if there's something that you want, just say so. We were laughing last night that it used to be that we guarded this stuff and we wouldn't really have any of it. And it's like, you know what, if you want it, let me know. So, talking about marketing presentation, my first question is what does yours look like? And the second question is could you do it blindfolded? When I meet with sellers, I sit down with them and I tell them this looks really scary, it's really thick, but I promise I'll be really quick as I go through this. And if I don't sit and go through this with you, one of your coworkers is going to say something about, well, my agent this or my agent that, and you won't know. So I need to sit down with you, run through my presentation. Please feel free to ask questions as we go through it. And then something that I offer to lead with them. Some people take me up on it. Some people go, no, that's okay. Mama taught me not to brag. But in this business, if you don't brag about yourself, who's going to? And so I leave my brag book, and they see all my accomplishments for the year. Some people, like I say, want to see it, and others, it's like, no, go ahead and take it with you. So, what do you take with you on your listing appointment? Is it all in one place? Is it ready to go at a moment's notice? And do you have listing packets already prepared? So those are some of the things.
Can I pass this around before I talk?
Actually, I'd rather you didn't, and anybody can come out afterwards. Thank you.
Ask your assistant.
It's like, yeah, my assistant for the clipper. So, having said that, I did a JPEG of these, and it didn't work out so great, but again, they're up here. So we have our listing packets, checklist for residential homes, and land listing packets. I do my packets ahead of time. I already have them prepared. And so I just go to my drawer, grab whichever I'm after. My houses are yellow, my land is orange, and so I already have the packets prepared with all these forms. I handwrite a lot of my offers. I'll go out, show them the house. It's not unusual to, hey, let's write it up right here. So I have my packets already done and ready on that. Which one do I push? This is a listing checklist that actually is inside the packet, and it goes through the entire steps, all the things that we need to make sure are done so that we're ready on day one in listing the property. One of the things that I have Kathy do is to do a sheet of labels that has the seller's address. And so she does those when she does, when she's putting together the listing for the front desk. She makes sure that we have a set of labels. That way, anything that we have to mail, just rip off the label, stick it on it, and it's off and gone. We also use labels for a lot of other little things, and I'll show you some as we go through. But I don't know how many of you guys are as irritated as I am about the Zillow reports. They come every day of the week, and there is no system to that. And so sometimes we'll get something ready to mail out, and the Zillow report didn't come, and as soon as we seal the envelopes, there's the Zillow report. So we've got these little labels that we stick on there that says the Zillow reports came late this week, Zillow X number of hits. So we're letting our sellers know how many hits they got on that. Something else we do